Now, the first place I start is my hitting approach, because good hitters have a plan before they step into the batter's box. A hitting approach is like a guide. It's the end goal. It's the guide to get you where you want to be. For example, if you went up to the plate and you're looking for a pitch that's middle away and you get that pitch, you take your swing and now you executed your plan. That's basically what the hitting approach is. It's a plan before you step into the batter's box. And good hitters have it. Hitters like Fernando Tatis Jr., Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani. These guys are going up to the plate equipped. They're ready for the at-bat before they step into the batter's box. And so the first place I would start is my hitting approach. And the hitting approach can be as simple or as complex as you want it. A simple hitting approach is, I'm just going to go up and look for a mistake. A complex hitting approach is, I'm just going to look for a pitch middle away and I'm just going to swing at that pitch. I'm not going to swing at any other pitch. You can make it as simple or as complex as you want. And so the first place I'll start, when I'm swinging outside the zone and I'm not seeing the ball well, I will dial in what I'm looking for at the plate, which means I will come into the batter's box and I'll say, I'm only going to look for a pitch that's middle away. We know that majority of the pitches you see in baseball are going to be middle away. So I say, I'm going to focus on that. So now I'm zoned in to that pitch. And so that eliminates me swinging at this pitch, this low pitch, this pitch that's inside. Now I just made it simple by focusing on that one pitch. So that is where I would start when it comes to checking off why I'm not seeing well. I will limit the pitches that I'm swinging at. Sometimes we want to get a hit so bad that we get unfocused. We're swinging at everything. Things up, things down, swing outside, inside. The plate is big and wide and we're just trying to cover the entire plate. But when you go back to the basics, when you go back and simplify it, all right, I'm just going to look for a pitch that is right here, middle away. That's all I'm going to look for. Then it becomes easier and you shrink that strike zone and you're able to start swinging at pitches inside the zone. So that's the first place I start. Now, if you're going to try and practice this, try it in front toss first and just dial in on where you want to hit the ball and focus on that. And if it's not there, do not swing. Start there, then go to BP and then take it into the game. Don't just jump right in. Practice it before. Give yourself some time before you jump into the game with a plan like this. Now, let's say that I do have a hitting approach and my hitting approach is locked in, but I'm still swinging outside the zone. The next thing I would do is I would check my timing. Timing is most likely the reason why you're swinging outside the zone. It's the number one issue when you're not seeing the ball well, when you're expanding the strike zone, you're just late. So how do we get our timing? Well, I have a video that goes in depth and the link will go above my head right now. It's called the UCLA method. When I was at UCLA, they taught us this, and it's a good place to start and help you to start getting on time more consistently in the batter's box and definitely on deck. So it's going to help you to get your timing. I would advise you to watch it after this video, because if I talk about that right now, it's going to be a very, very long video. And it's not going to do you justice because you have to see what I'm talking about. And that's the reason why I'm sending you to that video after this video. Just to give you an idea of what you need to do, you need to change your trigger. And the trigger is, as a hitter, what we do when we're starting to get ready to hit. You do it right now, but you may not know that you're doing it. For example, if a pitcher is about to pitch, there's something that you do. Let's say that he releases his hand, he breaks right here. That's when you start getting ready to hit. Or when he releases the ball, that's when you start getting ready to hit. That's your trigger. So what we need to do is change our trigger, and we need to change it so that we push that ball from being so deep to a little bit more out front. And it's just by changing that trigger that's going to allow you to do that. And I guarantee you, if you change your trigger, it's going to help you to dial in the ball, especially if you have a hitting approach locked in as well. Pro tip, when it comes to your front foot landing, what you want to do is you want to have it landing when the ball is a quarter of the way or halfway to the plate. Any later than that, and it's going to really make you late. So that is something that will help you. And just remember that when you're batting or when you're on deck, when you're getting ready to hit. But first, I've created a free cheat sheet for you to help you if you're struggling to be a consistent hitter or you're lacking in power. If this sounds like you, the link will be in the description below. And this cheat sheet also comes with video training so you can see what you need to do to improve. And when you sign up for free today, you'll get access to more free goodies that will help you to improve your performance, but also get early VIP access to have your questions answered by MLB players. If this is something you're interested in, link will be in the description below. below. And with that said, back to the video. Now, let's say that my hitting approach is dialed in and I am on time, but I'm still not seeing the ball well and I'm swinging outside the zone. The next thing I would check off is, am I moving too fast? I see this with a lot of young players. They get into the batter's box and they're just moving so quick. And when you move so quick, you start to make quick decisions. And we want to be slow and make quick decisions. We don't want to be fast and make quick decisions. Then we're going to swing outside the zone because we're so fast. We're so fast. And it's because our heart is beating so fast and you're so pumped up and the adrenaline's pumping. I get it. You want to get up there and you want to mash. You want to hit home runs. You want to get hit. You want to be successful as a hitter, but you also want to be slow. You don't want to move fast. That's the recipe for, again, making quick decisions at the plate. And we want to make good decisions, not quick decisions. So if you're moving too fast, one of the things I recommend is that you breathe. And when I was at UCLA, our coach always used to say this. He was like, hey, you're going to be in front of 5,000, 10,000 people when we would go out and play against these big teams. He said, you know, your heart's going to be beating fast. Your adrenaline's going to be pumping. He said, make sure you breathe. And that's something that we don't really talk about and we forget about when we're on the field. We're so caught up in the game that we forget to breathe. And when you breathe, you want to be in through the nose, out through the mouth. You want to fill your belly with air. Just fill it up with air, fill it. And that's going to slow your heart rate down. And I guarantee you, if you do this right now with me, you're going to feel it. In through the nose for 3 seconds, out through the mouth. I bet that calmed you down. So you want to do that when you get to the batter's box. It's a good thing to do. You get into the batter's box, take a deep breath. Now you're ready to go. Now you just slowed yourself down so you could just focus. Now, the next thing, if you watch all my videos, is about visualizing. So visualize what pitch you actually want to hit. So after you take that deep breath, you visualize where you want that pitch, middle away, whatever that hitting approach is, and then you lock into that. Now you're ready to go. Now you just slowed yourself down so you can make good decisions at the plate instead of being too fast and too jerky. Another thing you could do, and it's something I recommend with all my young players, is to do the jazzy drill. So the jazzy drill is a drill I learned from Tony Gwynn. I remember I was in the cage. I'm just a young buck, swinging hard, looking fast. And he said, you look good, but you could be better. And what he did was he turned on jazz and he said, sync your body up to it. And I started to slow my actions down. Slow. I was in control and I was able to square up more balls consistently and the ball started jumping off my bat. So I always do this with young players. I turn on jazz music and I say, sync your body up to it. And they struggle with this at first because they're used to getting in here and just swinging away. But it slows them down. They start moving slower. They start finding their rhythm, and that translates into the game. If you look at all the players at the highest level, they have their own rhythm. And the reason why you want your own rhythm is because the pitcher is trying to break your rhythm, trying to break your timing. So if you have your own rhythm, you're going to be less likely to be fooled by those pitches because you're doing the same thing. You're in the same sequence every single time, same rhythm. Everything's the same and it's your rhythm. So I would highly recommend you do the jazzy drill. It'll definitely help you to find that rhythm and slow your body down and slow your heart rate down. And I'll also recommend that you breathe. Breathe before you get into the batter's box so you can focus on what you're trying to do at the plate. And then lastly, visualize what you want so that you can have the success that you want on the field. Now, let's say that you went through the list and you're still swinging out balls outside the zone. The next thing I would check off is my head movement. More specifically, you're lunging to the ball. And when you start lunging and you're being hard on that front foot, your head moves with your body, and that speeds up the ball and changes your perception when you're in the batter's box. That would be something I highly recommend. And one thing that I always told myself was if I was lunging too far forward, I would think about placing eggs there. Now, this is just imaginary. You're placing eggs there and you're trying not to crack those eggs. You're trying to keep them solid. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's just a way to think so you can be soft on that front foot instead of putting all your weight on that front foot. Also, another thing you could do is if you're at a sports complex, it's at your home, you can buy a full body mirror. I always had a full body mirror in my apartments, my home, at the field, because I wanted to see what my body was doing. But a good place you want to be is you want to keep your head in between your lower half. Sometimes when we start lunging, our head goes with our body and we're like this. We're not in that power triangle. And this is the power triangle where our head's in between and our lower half's in a very balanced position. And that's where we want to be. Another thing that you could do is spread out. I like to spread out when I wasn't seeing the ball well, because then that eliminates movements for me. So by spreading out, instead of being here where you'll normally be, maybe you want to be here, just so that you can eliminate all those other movements and keep it simple so that you can see the ball better. And once you start feeling better, then you can go back to your normal batting stance and start hammering baseballs again. So if you went through the checklist and you're still not seeing the ball well, the next thing I would recommend is that you go into your B swing. Hey, sometimes you're gonna face pitchers that have deception, pitchers that you're just not gonna see well. And when that happens, you have to transition from your A swing to your B swing. And every player at the highest level has that. And you may not understand, but they do in some capacity. They're not probably going 100%, but they are dropping it down and it looks similar to their A swing, but they're dialing it back a little bit because they just don't see the pitcher that well. Some guys you just don't see well. Some guys, the matchup is just off. So with that being said, you want to go to your B swing. Maybe you want to widen out. Maybe you want to choke up. Maybe you want to do some of these things so that you eliminate movement so you can get barrel to the ball. So that's something that I would do. If I didn't see a guy well, I had to make an adjustment. And that's part of the game, is making those adjustments so you can be successful on the field. With that being said, I want to thank you for watching. Hit this video right here, which teaches you how to hit fast pitching in baseball. And if you look above it, it has a video preview. In that video, I share with you exactly how to hit fast pitching. It's going to help you to stand out. It's going to help you to be the player you are meant to be. So with that being said, click that video and I'll see you in the next video.